He never planned to marry anyone, much less someone nearly 6 decades older than him. But when life drags you to the edge of survival, love isn't the first thing you're looking for. Survival is. He was 24, a broke student, no parents, no safety, no backup plan. He studied computer engineering during the day and washed dishes at night. Even with 2 part-time jobs, he barely covered rent for a shared room in a roach-infested apartment. Some nights, he slept in the college library. Just to save money on transportation, no one saw him, no one cared. And he was used to that, until one afternoon changed everything. He was sitting alone in the library, reading a second-hand book on artificial intelligence, pages yellowed, corners torn, when a soft voice broke the silence. "That's one of my favorites. Fascinating how machines try to think like us, isn't it?" He looked up. A woman, elegant and poised, stood before him. Her white hair was styled, not messy. Her clothes? Designer, old but refined. She didn't belong in this dusty university. Library, yet there she was. He smiled politely. "Yeah, it's interesting." She sat down, uninvited but not unwelcome. They spoke for 40 minutes. She wasn't like others. She didn't talk down to him. She didn't pity him. She asked about his ideas, not his grades, about his dreams, not his bank account. Over the next few days, they crossed paths again, always in the same spot, always with the same calm energy. He discovered she was 81, a retired entrepreneur, no children, widowed, lived alone in a quiet mansion just outside the city. She came to the university sometimes to feel the buzz of young minds, as she called it, but what truly surprised him was this. She remembered every detail he shared, his passion for programming, his struggle with tuition, the fact that he hadn't eaten breakfast the day they first met. One day, she brought him coffee. The next, a sandwich. The third day she asked, "Would you ever consider working with me on a project?" He didn't know what to say. He was suspicious. Who wouldn't be? But poverty has a way of silencing your doubts. When you're hungry, tired and desperate, hope wears any face that shows up. They started meeting every other day. She spoke about a dream she once had, to build a mentorship platform for underprivileged students. She never did it. Life got in the way, she said, but maybe with his skills and her resources, it could happen now. He agreed. It felt like purpose. Finally, something more than survival. Then, after 3 weeks of conversation, laughter, and cautious trust, she said the words he never expected. "I want to marry you." He froze. What kind of joke was this? She was calm, not romantic, not desperate, just honest. "I know this sounds strange. I'm not asking for love. I'm asking for companionship. Trust and legacy. I have more than enough money. What I don't have is time. And I want to use my last chapter to change someone's story. Yours." He didn't sleep that night. He stared at the ceiling and thought of his dead-end job, his unpaid bills, the scholarship he lost for missing classes due to work. He wasn't in love, but he was exhausted. You see, people think choices like this are black and white. They're not. They're survival. According to real-world studies, over 70% of people in poverty make decisions based not on what's ideal, but what's urgent. When every day is a crisis, the future becomes blurry. Security becomes more valuable than desire. He said yes. No ring, no grand gesture, just a quiet okay in that same library where it all began. The wedding was 1 week later. No family. His parents had died years ago. No friends. Most had drifted away as life hardened him. It was just him, her, a city judge, and a quiet pen scribbling on a legal paper that would change his life. Right after signing the marriage certificate, she handed him a black folder. Inside was access to her estate, a trust account in his name, legal documents proving joint ownership of assets, and a private letter she told him not to open yet. He walked away from that courthouse a husband and a millionaire, But he didn't feel victorious. He felt something else, something strange, not regret, not guilt. It was fear, because sometimes when life finally gives you everything you've begged for, it comes with a price you're not ready to pay. And 7 days later, he would learn what that price was. The first week of marriage was quiet. She remained frail, her movements slow but deliberate. He helped her with small things, opening jars, carrying groceries, reminding her to take her medication. He didn't ask questions, he didn't push, because deep down he sensed there was more she was hiding. On the 7th day, she handed him a sealed envelope. "Read this when you're alone," she said softly. That night, he sat in the dim light of her study. The house was silent, except for the ticking of an old clock on the wall. With trembling hands, he opened the letter. Her handwriting was shaky, but the words were clear. "If you are reading this, it means I am no longer here. I wanted to prepare you, not to frighten you, but to explain." She revealed she had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer, one that had already spread beyond hope. The doctors gave her months, not years. She never told him because she wanted their time together to be real, not clouded by pity or fear. "I chose you because I saw myself in you," she wrote. "You remind me of the young woman I once was, full of dreams, struggling to survive. I was once poor, once scared, once alone. I worked hard and built my fortune from nothing, but I never built a family. Now I want to leave this world knowing I changed someone's life. This money is yours, no strings attached. Use it well. Use it to become more than I ever was. Build a life with purpose." He closed the letter and sat motionless for hours. The weight of her words crushed him. The truth hit him like a thunderbolt. This wasn't a marriage for love or companionship. It was a final act of generosity, a chance for him to rewrite his story. In psychology, this kind of gift is called transformational legacy, when a person deliberately chooses to pass on resources, wisdom, or opportunities to change the trajectory of another's life. It is rare and powerful, but it also brings a heavy responsibility. He realized the money was not just an inheritance, it was a call to action. The next morning, instead of spending the money on himself, he did something few would expect. He went back to the university, enrolling again, registering for classes he had dropped, applying for scholarships. He understood the real value was not in the cash, but in the opportunity to build something sustainable, something lasting. With every lecture, every late-night study session, he felt her presence pushing him forward. No one outside their quiet home knew the truth. To them, he was just a lucky man who married an older woman. But inside, he battled guilt, grief, and a fierce determination to honor her final wish. This situation reveals a profound truth about human nature. The desire to leave a meaningful legacy transcends age, wealth, and time. Many terminally ill patients express this wish, not to die in vain, but to ensure their life's meaning continues through others. He wasn't just inheriting money, he was inheriting a mission. A study from the National Institute on Aging shows that people with a sense of purpose live longer and with better mental health. This mission, imposed or chosen, gave him strength, a reason to fight his own battles. 1 week after the letter, she passed away peacefully in her sleep. He stayed by her side, holding her hand, feeling the end of a chapter and the beginning of another. Grief hit hard, but within that grief was gratitude, because sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in unexpected ways, in endings that are really beginnings, in losses that create new hope. From that moment on, he knew he had two choices: sink back into the life he knew, or rise up and become the man she believed he could be, and with that thought, his journey truly began. After her passing, the house felt emptier than ever. But inside him, a fire had been ignited. That fire was fueled not only by the inheritance, but by the promise he made to live a life worthy of her faith. He wasn't naive. He knew money alone wouldn't solve his problems, nor would it guarantee happiness. What mattered most was what he did with the chance given to him. He began reading books about personal development, success, and mindset. He surrounded himself with mentors and advisors, people who had climbed out of poverty and made their mark. One lesson stood out. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about mindset, discipline, and resilience. Many people inherit money and lose it quickly. Why? Because they lack the mental framework to manage and grow it. He committed himself to learning this framework. Daily affirmations became his ritual. I am worthy of success. I learn from every failure. My past does not define my future. Science supports this practice. Studies on neuroplasticity show that consistent positive self-talk rewires the brain for success and confidence. His days became structured. Early mornings filled with exercise to build physical discipline. Hours of study to build knowledge. Networking events to build connections. He knew that transforming his life meant transforming himself. One of the hardest lessons was accepting that his marriage, despite its shocking nature, was a blessing in disguise. It forced him out of complacency. It forced him to confront fears and insecurities he had buried. He began setting clear goals, complete his degree with honors, start a business that aligns with his passions, give back to his community. Each goal came with plans and deadlines. He tracked his progress meticulously. Behind every success story, there is a mountain of failure. He failed many times. Some days, doubt crept in, whispering that he was living a lie, that the gift was too good to be true. But he remembered the letter, her faith in him. That faith was more powerful than any fear. He also realized the social stigma he faced. People judged him for marrying a woman so much older. Some called him opportunistic, others doubted his intentions, but he learned to ignore the noise. In life, opinions don't pay bills or build dreams, your actions do. Through this experience, he understood a fundamental truth. Success is not defined by where you start, but by how you finish. This idea resonates with the philosophy of many self-made millionaires. They often say, your circumstances don't define you, your decisions do. This man made a decision to rewrite his story, and that decision created a ripple effect. He started mentoring others in his neighborhood, sharing what he learned about mindset and perseverance. He became proof that extraordinary change is possible, even when life seems unfair or strange. His story became a beacon of hope for those stuck in difficult situations. He learned that wealth is not just a bank balance, it's the freedom to become your best self. That's the real legacy his late wife left him, not just money, but the opportunity to grow, transform, and inspire. This story teaches us something vital. Life will throw unexpected opportunities and challenges your way. Sometimes what seems like a shocking twist is actually the universe redirecting you toward your true path. If you ever feel lost or trapped by your circumstances, remember this: you are capable of transformation. You are worthy of success. And every day is a new chance to rewrite your story. Months passed, and the man's life changed dramatically. He was no longer the struggling student, but a man on a mission, determined, focused, and unstoppable. But transformation wasn't just external. It happened deep inside. He faced moments of loneliness, self-doubt, and fear of failure. These feelings were natural but dangerous if allowed to control him. Instead, he chose to confront them head-on. He learned the power of emotional resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks, adapt to change, and keep moving forward. Psychologists define resilience as one of the strongest predictors of success and well-being. Every time he stumbled, he reminded himself, pain is temporary, growth is permanent. Setbacks are setups for comebacks. I am stronger than my struggles, he journaled daily, reflecting on his emotions and progress. This practice helped him stay grounded and focused. He also embraced gratitude, appreciating every small win, every lesson, every breath. Gratitude is scientifically proven to boost happiness and reduce stress, enabling clearer thinking and better decision-making. With each passing day, he noticed subtle changes. His confidence grew. His mindset shifted from scarcity to abundance. His relationships improved because he began to see people through the lens of empathy and kindness. He realized that the wealth he inherited was only a tool. The real treasure was the transformation inside. He also became keenly aware of the responsibility that comes with privilege. He pledged to use his resources not just for personal gain, but to uplift others. He started a foundation to help students from underprivileged backgrounds, those like he once was. This foundation offered scholarships, mentorship, and access to resources. He wanted to create a cycle of empowerment, where one person's transformation could spark many others. His story quickly spread on social media and news outlets. People were inspired by the unusual love story, but even more by his dedication to growth and giving back. This highlighted a key lesson. True success is measured not by what you get, but by what you give. His late wife's final gift was not just money, but a second chance. A chance he refused to waste. Her story taught him about courage, sacrifice, and the power of belief. It also reminded him, and all of us, that life's biggest shocks often carry hidden blessings. His journey became a testament to the power of human spirit to rise above adversity. And it teaches a universal truth. No matter your starting point, with faith, focus, and perseverance, you can create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Years later, the man stands as a symbol of transformation. From a struggling student to a confident leader, his life story inspires thousands to believe that change is possible. But beyond the fame and wealth, he treasures something deeper, the lesson that life is unpredictable, and that true strength lies in how you respond. He learned that success is not a destination, but a journey of constant growth. He often reflects on the woman who changed his life. Her faith in him, despite everything, was the catalyst. She saw potential when no one else did. This teaches us a profound truth. Sometimes people come into our lives not just as partners or friends, but as catalysts for our awakening. Her legacy is more than her fortune. It is the belief that every person has untapped potential waiting to be unleashed. This story shows that real wealth is not just money, it's opportunity, responsibility, and the courage to evolve. He now dedicates himself to helping others unlock their potential. Through mentorship programs, speaking engagements, and community projects, he pays forward the gift he received. His message is simple. Your past does not define your future. Your mindset shapes your destiny. With faith and effort, extraordinary change is possible. If you are facing challenges or feeling stuck, remember this story. The universe often tests us in unexpected ways, but within those challenges lie hidden chances to rewrite your story. Believe in yourself. Embrace growth, and never underestimate the power of transformation, because in the end, that's what life is about. Evolving into the best version of yourself, no matter where you started. In life, we often find ourselves at crossroads, moments filled with uncertainty, fear, and doubt. Yet it is precisely in these moments that our true character is forged. This story reminds us that no matter how unlikely or challenging the path may seem, within each of us lies an incredible power to transform our destiny. It's not the circumstances that define us, but the choices we make, the courage to believe, to rise, and to keep moving forward even when the world doubts us. True wealth is not measured by dollars, but by the strength of our spirit and the impact we leave on others. Remember, sometimes the most unexpected gifts come disguised as challenges, and the greatest lessons emerge from the hardest trials. So, hold on to hope, embrace your journey, and trust that every step, no matter how difficult, is leading you toward your highest self. Your story is still being written. Choose to make it extraordinary.